We were at war with the North in 1973 and again in 96, so this news of tanks on top of their troop buildup is really worrying. We must avoid another war. I need to speak with the North's president. Let's imagine we're helping the South's President Lon apply the Obreau Tripod structure in preparing to have this conversation. We begin with the working from observation leg. The purpose is to avoid reacting and help open up possibilities. It's observable there's been a buildup of Northern troops and tanks on the border. It's also observable that a news report in the North has alleged a spy flight by a South Republic plane. What if we said the Northern press is hostile to the South? Is that an observation? No, that's a judgment. It might be true, but other interpretations are possible. Now, let's move to the second tripod leg, attributing reasonableness. Here, we're helping President Lon figure out what might be real for the North's leader, allowing the leader can be reasonable at this time. Essentially, we're developing hypotheses for testing. Perhaps the North leader assumes the flyover by a South jet was a deliberate provocation. Possibly he wants to project the North's strength and ward off any threat from the South. Now, what if we hypothesize that the North's leader wants an excuse to invade the South? It's hard to see this one passing the reasonableness test. Leaders acting reasonably don't usually want to invade other countries. We're just capturing a few points here for illustration, so let's move on to the third tripod leg, speaking with authenticity. What might President Lon plan to say to the North's president? Well, the only restrictions are that her words are true for her. She holds open the North's leader being reasonable, and there is a connection with observation. To take an example, the South's president could state she is aware the North has been moving troops and tanks to the border. She might check for the Northern leader's acknowledgement of this, and then perhaps inquire into the reasoning behind these movements. President Lon could test an interpretation, such as the Northern leader sees the troop and tank movements as necessary to project the North's strength and ward off any threat. She might acknowledge the unauthorized flight, and that this may have been seen as a deliberate provocation. The president could also declare her view that what's critical to the South is to avoid another war. As with any tripod, the Obreau's strength comes from the three legs being in place together. When you work from observation, attribute reasonableness, and speak with authenticity, you gain power in both cutting to the core of the issues and reducing the risks of speaking up. We're not all the head of a country. Maybe we're just in charge of our own things. Yet, whatever your situation, you probably face challenging conversations. To make headway, remembering just 3 words will help you get started: observation, reasonableness, and authenticity. And what does President Lon say? In our relationship with the North, we face a choice, as if between 2 different ways of using a tripod. One use of the tripod is to support a gun, but for me, the tripod is best used to enable a conversation. The Obreau Tripod was created by Don DeNoon. For more information, visit his website, dondenoon.com.